How long until Twitter turns on MrBeast for his new deaf people video? Oh man, immediately. Yeah, if they haven't already, I'm shocked. We actually talked about this a long time ago on the podcast. There is a very large chunk of deaf people who have a legitimate hatred for deaf people who get the surgery to hear again. They consider them traitors. I'm not shitting you. We even talked about it on stream before, too. There is a community of deaf people who actually get extremely upset about those that choose to go through with the hearing surgeries. The whole belief is like, you're fine as you are, you should be proud to be deaf, and that by getting this surgery, you're saying that it was like a bad thing, or, you know, you were broken. Something along those lines. But basically like deaf pride, and if you get the hearing surgery, you're looked down upon for members of the community. It was, I couldn't believe it either when I read about it. They had an entire subreddit dedicated to it as well, to call out people that would get the surgery. So I have no doubt MrBeast will catch a lot of shit for that. If he doesn't, I will be shocked. Not that he deserves it by any means. I'm just saying, I know it's on its way. Thanks, resub Danvy. I took 2 semesters of ASL, you're absolutely right. There's a long history of deaf people trying to be fixed, and a lot of modern deaf culture was made as a reaction to that. I first really saw it with, who was that lady that was on The Apprentice? She was deaf, but then she got, like, the hearing surgery, and she wears them sometimes. The community hates her. The group of people I'm talking about within the deaf community absolutely fucking hates her for that. And I didn't understand why. And then we talked about it on the podcast, and then I learned it's like a real thing. Like, there is a not small group of deaf people that hate those that get that surgery or implants or anything. Is it a religious thing? No, I think it's just being part of the community thing. It's coming to terms with being deaf, right? Like, sometimes just being dealt a bad hand, and it's, you know, you find a community of people that are also deaf. And then when someone gets the implants or, you know, gets the surgeries and everything like that, they feel it as a betrayal, because it's like throwing away that community, saying like, this community, you know, something was wrong with them and wrong with it, so now I've changed as a result. I don't know. Something like that. So it becomes a very, like, toxic environment. But I wouldn't be surprised if there is, like, a group or a component of that that's religious, like God made you that way. Who are you to go against God's plan for you and being deaf? Like, I'm sure that's probably there in some capacity. Thanks, the resub Game Catcher. You do keep misconstruing criticisms of systems that create the need for philanthropic figures like MrBeast with the direct criticism of MrBeast, which is almost never the point of these tweets you've called out in your videos. Yeah, that's like a really lukewarm IQ take, because MrBeast just helping people isn't necessarily an acceptance or an encouragement of the system that puts it in place, man. Like, you're literally arguing with a ghost. You're making up arguments in your head. I don't know how many times I've outright said it's fucked up that this is even a thing that needs to exist. But MrBeast has done nothing wrong by helping people. Literally nobody is saying like, the system's fine. The system's great. MrBeast is a saint for all of this, and he's fixing the system, or not fixing the system, he's, God, what is it? He's playing by the rules of capitalism, and the system's working as intended. It's not like if MrBeast didn't help 1,000 people, the system is all of a sudden getting improved. So why not just help the 1,000 people? This is a resub. Rexplode, Glass, and Mallory. You know Alexander Graham Bell helped create ASL? I did not know that. What? No, I didn't know that. There's a Prime Floop in the resub Vin and Flamingo. I swear people just want something to be mad at. You can be mad at the system. I think you're totally justified in being mad at the system where people would need to pay for, you know, life-changing surgery like the ability to hear and see. That's a real problem. But you know who doesn't contribute to that problem is MrBeast by paying for those surgeries for those people. It's not like if he didn't do that, all of a sudden the system isn't being improved upon. There's no reason not to help them. If he can afford to, and wants to. Why did he go with that thumbnail again? I don't know. He's got to change up these fucking thumbnails, though, if he wants to keep doing these things. These are some weird thumbnails. Jimmy's got to work on that shit ASAP. Easy tier 1. Dumbass Ivy and the Bits teach on. I haven't been watching a lot of One Piece buff, so I'm still at the same place. Right after Skypiea. The tweets you called out in the past videos were not criticizing MrBeast, they were criticizing capitalism and using MrBeast videos as an example of how fucked up our current state of capitalism is. Calling that take lukewarm is some insane ego shit. You mean the tweet that called MrBeast demonic for paying for people's eye surgery? Because in the MrBeast video I made, I'm pretty sure that was the only tweet I made, or the only tweet I showed was him being called demonic. Is that a criticism of capitalism somewhere in there? Because that was literally calling him demonic without being able to explain why. Are you mistaking me for somebody else? They called him the Antichrist. No, I think that was a different tweet. Here, I'll double check. I don't think it was the same tweet. Because I'm pretty sure the MrBeast demonic tweet was the one just calling what he's done demonic without being able to explain why. There's something so demonic about this and I can't articulate what it is the tweet that I was talking about. And scrubbing through the whole video, that is literally the only one that I show. So you must have got me confused with somebody else there. And the 10 gift subs Physical Blob. Thank you for that, Physical. I appreciate that. Thanks for your generosity. The devil is also known as a beast. Coincidence. True, actually. You might be onto something. You could make the next viral MrBeast equals Antichrist tweet. He doesn't call MrBeast demonic, literally basic comprehension issue. He said something about this is demonic, most likely referring to unregulated capitalism. Man, you can't just accept you were wrong. You literally said the tweets that I called out in my video were about capitalism. There is one tweet, and it is, you are finding a very charitable interpretation so that way you don't have to take a big L. The tweet literally just says there's something so demonic about this, but can't articulate why, and a picture of MrBeast helping people with the eyesight. Oh, actually, what he was saying, and I understand because your brain, you're just a Philistine, the subtle vicissitudes of his point must have been lost on a simpleton like you, Charles. He was clearly making a very in-depth critique about the state of capitalism, which is why he explained that he can't articulate what it is, obviously.